We're having a chat with Con, the national president of the Compadres Christian Motorcycle Club. We're gonna have have a look at this weird and wonderful collection, and we are gonna talk about the word. Enjoy.
Good morning, compadres. It's a beautiful morning here in Adelaide, South Australia. On my way to work. I gotta do a 10-hour shift today. Well, 9.5 hours, to be honest. As we roll up to these traffic lights. So when we look in the Old Testament, we will find a God who is for the poor and the oppressed, really. And definitely when we look at the Old Testament prophets, God through his prophets condemned his people constantly for not just worshipping other gods, but just for abusing the poor and oppressing them.
If I move stuff out of the way, it's too...
Yeah. Maybe if you sit over there and then I'll just ask about Luke 14:23.
I'll get some lights going.
Yeah, that would be cool. Route 66.
Doesn't necessarily hate the rich, he just hates the one that got rich by taking from the poor, and then on top of that he dislikes the rich who don't share. It's perfectly okay to be rich. We are rich here in the West. We belong, even if you're on a pension, you still belong to the first 5% of the most richest people in the world.
You know, unfortunately the government doesn't really supply for all needs, and sometimes, we've got to take it upon ourselves to raise funds, for people that are in need.
That's what motorcycle ministries do a lot, right? They organize these rides and...
Yeah. There's a lot of fundraising and that sort of thing involved for different charities.
Your Christians and brothers and sisters in the developing world, they're living on like $2 a day. You know what I mean? How does that fit in with scriptures like Micah 6:8, where God commands his people to speak out for justice against oppression? How does it fit in with Jesus in Matthew, where he gives that command like to love your neighbor? And the whole question is who are your neighbors, right? It doesn't have to be the neighbor, you know what I mean? The people around you, right? At work, in the gym, your brothers in the club. 1 John 3:17-18. Well, they say, hey, take care of your brother in need. That's what he says. We look at Luke 12:33. It's just give to the poor. These are pretty clear statements to me, right? So, we compadres, we have Luke 14:23 on a patch on our vests.
The Luke 14:23 was on the vests when I joined the club, and the actual verse is, and the master said unto the servant, go out into the highways and country lanes and compel them to come in, so that my house might be filled. So we sort of use that with our, with the club, and just, the way, we ride our bikes, we go to the highways and country lanes and, meet people, build relationships with people, and hey, if they ask us about our faith or why are we Christian, or, then we explain. We basically tell them, why we've turned to Christianity.
That's it. Easy as that. 9.5 hour shift done. While Christians do agree about the need for mercy and justice, we do disagree about the relationship between evangelism and social action. You see, a lot of Christians would argue that evangelism is more important than social actions. I would argue that's false. My research clearly shows the opposite. At the very least, evangelism is as important as social actions. Word is equally important to deeds. It shines through in Jeremiah.
Close to 30 years now I've been a compadre. The club started, we started here in South Australia in 2008, but the club has been going for 20 years or so in Sydney.
And you're collecting all this?
Yeah, I've got a bit of a crazy hobby, and as you can see, I've got the bug, and I like collecting bits and pieces, keep myself busy. Do a lot of swap meets and that sort of thing, you know.
Maya clearly speaks out against people that only proclaim word but no deeds. And it's also a beautiful example, right? Because we're not just talking about social justice, we've got to talk about social actions. You know, walking the talk, doing what you preach in your own life and share that with others. How can you proclaim the love of Christ if you don't even care for the suffering in the world? Jeremiah clearly speaks out against word without deed, and to God through his prophet Jeremiah teaches reform for word and deed. Clearly in Amos 5:21-24, the prophet speaks out against words, faith without deeds. In Matthew 5:19, the importance of faith with deeds, or faith expressed by deeds, is emphasized. In Luke 4:17-19, Christ quotes Isaiah 61 here, which clearly teaches the need for evangelism and deeds. And the early church, we can learn a lot from the early church. We see Paul and Peter not only preach and teach, but they also heal. Paul is very passionate about the relief, the famine relief for Jerusalem, but he's out preaching and teaching. He's also concerned about his brothers and sisters in Jerusalem. In Matthew 5, chapter 5, verses 13-16, we see the followers of Christ are to be the salt and the light of the world. Salt meaning preaching the gospel, teaching kingdom values. Light meaning deeds. Let people encounter Christ by your actions. Not just inward actions, not just amongst Christians, but also outwards. It's very important.
The reason we go with Luke 14:23 is because it goes with it's like a club motto, it goes with our lifestyle. Jesus said, go out to the highways and country lanes and compel them to come in so that my house may be full. So we take that upon ourselves as we ride our motorcycles and meet people along the way, stop here, stop there, just like Jesus probably would have done in the day with his disciples, and just meet people and socialise, and like I said, we don't preach to people, but we're always there to listen and build relations.
And James chapter 2:14-26 is very plain. He says, well, faith without deed is dead. Can't get more straighter than that. The relationship between evangelism and social action is that it should be dynamic, in my point of view. It's really, really, the point is that they should be equal value. They're equally important. Sometimes we have to share the love, and out of that love comes the opportunity, the bridge, to share our faith journey, to evangelize. So how do we integrate that into our ministries, into motorcycle ministry or whatever ministry you're involved in? Well, I already said it, integrate. It's called integral mission. It means that when people encounter you, they meet the whole Christ, right? In your words and your deeds. So it's throughout the whole Testament. It's also not just integral, it's also called a holistic mission, the wholeness of Jesus. The Greek word holos, and this freaked me out a little bit. The Greek word holos, where we base this theory on, right? The Greek word holos is translated in Hebrew as shalom. You know, it means not just peace, but it's a wholeness, it's a balance. Jesus did this all the time. He didn't just care, Jesus didn't just go out fishing for souls. He went fishing for men, the whole body. He was concerned about demon possession, he was concerned about teaching, he was concerned about feeding, he was concerned about everything, about healing the whole body. How do we integrate this as compadres? Well,
in that scripture itself, I think there's it shows this balance, like this. The master invited the poor people to share his banquet, but at the same time, it sort of commands us to talk about Jesus, to go out and share the word. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and
so
we all know the one where Jesus said, "Follow me, and I'll make you fishers of men."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's I guess so. When we're out, a lot of people ask us about, what we stand for and what Luke 14:23 means, and
absolutely
it gives us the opportunity to talk about it, which is the word, and sort of sacrificing our time and building relationships.
And as a member of the Compadres, not just as a member, not just because I am a member, but as a human being, I live my life according to kingdom values. It goes all the way into even when you want to buy something. Yeah, I had this bike for over 5 years now. Yes, I like to upgrade to a brand new bike, but I'm not gonna waste that money if I can do much more valuable things with that money. Waste valuable resources. This bike looks perfectly cool. So that's just an illustration. When we just bought a new sofa and a new bed. Yeah, even though we normally only buy second-hand furniture, we just wanted something new. So what did we do? We bought locally made stuff. Yes, it was a bit more expensive, but that's, I'm not gonna buy something that comes straight out of a sweatshop in India just because it's cheap. Because I try to be a good steward. Stewardship is how we treat others, how we treat the environment. Even God created the world we have for us to enjoy, for us to take care of. Yeah, stewardship. We have to be really concerned about the whole of God's creation and not just about souls, winning souls through evangelism, even though, as we've seen, it's an important part. Obviously, both me and my wife do tithing. So in a way we can say that is all part, as a member of the Compadres, also part of the Compadres. And I know plenty of people who volunteer, not just money, but their time for the kingdom. In that way we live according to kingdom values, and I probably missed a lot. Well, I hope you enjoyed meeting President Con and all the things he had to say, and I hope you picked up one or two things of all the things I said. Hopefully I've been able to edit this all the way back to 15 minutes. I've got about 2 or 3 hour footage. And may the peace of the Lord be with you. In Jesus' glorious name. Have a great day, and thank you for watching this, taking just 10 or 15 minutes out of your life to watch this. I really appreciate it. Please like and subscribe. More subscribers will encourage me to put out better footage for teaching purposes and to glorify God and His kingdom. Alright, catch you on the road, guys. Adios, amigo.
I'm not religious and I'm old since I can't stand the weight of most priests talk in the state church or elsewhere. After having tried to decide each time I had to make a choice about something worthwhile, now I take a pause and I take a breath and listen to them, then I know how to begin. With an open heart and mind and arms laid down, your war and hate and arms left in the light of day, and let Jesus show the way. But hey, I'm not religious and I'm old since I can't stand the way that most priests talk in the state church or elsewhere. Try to get it right from the start. Unite mind and heart. Choose a way. Don't go astray and try to ease the pain. Don't stay the same. Love your neighbor, that's the labor. Lately, I've been questioning my own path. Who knows how long it will last or where it will go. Now I take one step back and I watch what's going on, and I relieve the need to know. With a broken heart and mind and arms laid down, your war and hate and arms left in the light of day, and let Jesus show the way. But hey, I'm not religious and I'm old since I can't stand the way that most priests talk in the state church or elsewhere.